This week on Maker Update, your own Banksy art shredder, the new Pi TV hat, the CAD of soda bottles, a wearable touchscreen computer, a 3D printed doorman, a location-aware MP3 player, and a sand table drawbot. Hey, I'm Donald Bell, and welcome to another Maker Update. I hope everyone's doing well. I think there's something in the air right now because there's just an incredible amount of cool projects in this week's show. So let's get started with the project of the week. On Thingiverse, Dave Buchanan posted his design for this trick frame inspired by the famous Banksy art shredder frame. I learned about this through Mike Sinise's post on the Makezine blog. It's essentially a new spin on the classic paper into money magic trick, using a loop of tracing paper inside the frame as a kind of conveyor belt. Twisting the knob on the side works to reel in the original print while rolling out a separate shredded version. It's a 3D printed project that only needs a few extra elements. You need some tracing paper for the loop and some wood screws to fasten it all together. You also need to source your own artwork, but man, what a fun trick. What I'd love to see though is a slightly more high-tech version with a geared motor and a remote control to make it more like the Banksy version. If you make it, let me know and I'll feature it here. It's time for some news. Raspberry Pi has announced a new add-on board for the Pi called the TV Hat. It's a $22 board that stacks onto a Pi or a Pi Zero and allows the Pi to receive DVB-T2 video signals, which, as I understand it, are standard just about everywhere except here in the US. So have fun with that one. Still, the idea is this opens up new potential for the Pi, allowing you to capture and stream broadcast TV on your Pi or across your network. Seems like it would be a great fit for media center projects. Through Hackster.io, I learned about new software called TrussFormer that allows you to design large-scale structures and kinetic art using recycled soda bottles as the material. There seems to be a few ways to create or import designs. You then just 3D print out or laser cut the joints needed to tie it all together and get to work. The software is currently in beta. It looks like it runs as a plugin within SketchUp, and you need to request access to play with it, but I love knowing that this tool exists. I also learned this week that the Boldport Club is dropping their subscription model starting in January. But don't worry, the company seems to be doing just fine and they will continue to sell their beautiful kits a la carte through their online store. I'm a big fan of Boldport and I've been a subscriber from the beginning. I think this is actually a good and natural development now that there's a back catalog of 32 projects to choose from. If you're into electronics and you haven't seen these projects, go take a look. I have more projects to share with you, but first, just a reminder that this show runs on the support of my awesome patrons. If this show is something you look forward to seeing every week, you can support it for as little as 25 cents a show. You can find the Patreon link down in the description. Back to projects. On Hackaday, Sarah Petkus shows off how she made this Pi-based spin on the Pip-Boy 3000 from Fallout. She calls her version the POPgirl. It's a wearable touchscreen computer. There's a 5-inch screen along with 5 tactile buttons down the side for different functions. Sarah includes a bill of materials, 3D files, and a thorough guide on how to put it all together with lots of photos. Go check it out, but fair warning, her YouTube channel is currently focused on engineering a winch for her butt cheeks, which, like this computer, is part of her larger Shibon project. It's a long story and a cool project, but I thought I should let you know in case lady butts frighten you. On Thingiverse, there's this Doorman project by Tjahzi. It's actually from January, but it's new to me. It's a 3D printed face with an Arduino behind it and a motion sensor. When motion is detected, the mechanical eyes open up and servos move the eyes around in a programmed routine. I love the design and the idea behind this. I think it's a good project for me right now personally with where I am with Arduino and 3D printing. Seems just challenging enough. I also think there's a good opportunity here to push the project forward a little with some kind of audio greeting. On Instructables, seanhodgins has a guide up on making these location-aware audio playback devices that look like old walkie-talkies. He made these for a friend's ghost story walking tour project. The idea is you hand one of these to someone, you have them walk a specific route, and every time there's a story for a new location, you hear a beep telling you to press the playback button and listen to the story. I love this idea. The project is pretty advanced though, using a custom PCB design and surface mount components. The guide is great though, along with Sean's video. And then there's this new sand table drawbot by Dobson. You've probably seen variations on this idea where a ball is driven through sand from an invisible force. The trick is that underneath the sand table is a CNC magnetic arm. Well, this is Rob's latest design and I believe it's one of the simplest I've seen yet. It's using 2 stepper motors, some laser cut acrylic, 3D printed parts for the arm, and some timing belts. You can find everything on his project page and GitHub, along with the Sandbot software he uses to control it. I have a ton of tips to share. Through a post by Terry Dunn on Tested, I learned about these aluminum jigs made specifically for soldering up common RC battery connections. They have little holders for the terminals and different bullet connectors. If you work with RC LiPo batteries for your projects, it might be a worthwhile investment. Terry also shows how he attached his to a third hand tool. For his Tips of the Week column, Gareth Branwyn takes a look at why steel bolts might be better than stainless steel bolts, and Project Farm's follow-up glue strength video, which compares different brands of epoxy. In a new video, industrial designer Eric Strebel runs through his must-have tools for model making in cardboard. One in particular that caught my eye are these Lure squeeze bottles with blunt needle tips that he uses for applying plain white PVA glue. They're only a few bucks on eBay. On Thingiverse, POPgirl has a dozen bike handle grip designs you can print out using flexible filament. Through Evil Mad Scientist, I found this trick from Mike Jacobs on how to use a pantograph mechanism to transform the motions of the Axedraw pen plotter into a large-scale plotter that you can use on a big canvas. And over on the Cool Tools blog, I take a look at 3 types of solder suckers, only one of which I actually think is worth using. If you want to cut to the chase, I'll include a link to my top pick down in the show notes. Maker fairs, we have a bunch this weekend, including Bilbao, Spain, DeKalb, Illinois, Montevideo, Uruguay, Atlanta, Georgia, and Derby and Derbyshire, UK. I also see that Evil Mad Scientist in Sunnyvale, California is having an open house coming up on Saturday, November 10th. And last year I had a lot of fun participating in Makevember. For the month of November, the idea is you try to make something, even a little thing, every day and post it on social media with the Makevember tag. A fun, supportive little community pops up around the challenge, and it's a good way to unblock your creativity. I'll be doing it again, and I hope to see some of your work too. And that does it for this week's show. Be sure to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, or leave a comment. You can also get on the Maker Update email list to have show notes emailed out to you automatically every week, along with a few bonus projects thrown in. And here's my reminder that I am not a Make employee. I volunteer my time to do this show every week because I think it's a valuable resource for you guys. If you think it's valuable too, you can find the show's Patreon page in the show notes. All right? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.